Good morning, everybody. My name is Paul and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, unfortunately, I have some bad news that I want to share with you guys because I royally fucked up. I messed up pretty big. I've thought about whether or not I even want to make this video, but with everything that I do, I want to be transparent and I want to raise my hand whenever I know that I've done something wrong so that if you found your way here for whatever reason, you could take something of value from this video. So I messed up in regards to my animals, my reptiles. I'm a reptile hobbyist. This isn't the way that I want to even introduce my animals to you guys, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to touch upon what I did wrong. I've been following the reptile YouTube space for a long time, and historically, not many people have been willing to basically blow the whistle on themselves and document whenever anything goes wrong with their collections. Now, in recent years, this has been changing, which is good, and I want to be a part of that. I want to document what happened so that if you're new to reptile breeding or if you're looking into it, you're aware of what can happen if you do something wrong. What exactly happened? Well, I'm a small-time reptile breeder. I've been a hobbyist for a long time, but I just recently started breeding my reptiles. The only ones in my collection that I'm breeding are my ball pythons, because everything else is still growing out. I have two pairs, 2 males, 2 females, and they produced eggs for me last year and this year. This year, I already hatched out the first clutch. There were 7 babies. I actually already sold one of them. The other 6 are downstairs in my baby rack, and they already took their first meals and everything. Everything is good in the hood over there, but unfortunately, my second clutch was still incubating. They were laid earlier in July, and I just checked on them, and they're right in this incubator that you'll see in a second. Unfortunately, there were 5 eggs, and all 5 of those eggs went bad. It was completely my fault, and it really blows. But let me explain. Well, guys, this is my Zoomed Reptibator. About $100. No, it's about $200. I got this from my local reptile shop. You probably can't find this at a Petco or a PetSmart, but you definitely can at a specific reptile shop by where you live. The mistake that I made was that this probe hanging off right here, I didn't put that within the lay box, and I don't know, I don't remember having this outside the lay box, but I didn't do that, and it really blows because I didn't check on this incubator in like a month because I didn't check on the last one because it was all properly set up, and yeah, because of that, these are the freaking eggs. Really blows. You can see that they're definitely dead. There's like freaking flies and shit. It really blows. It smells and everything. Really, really sucks. But it really blows because you put so much time into breeding these animals, and one little hiccup like this can cost you the entire project. How could I have avoided this? Well, for one, I did have an external thermometer similar to this bad boy right here, and I literally just could have put that and its respective probe in the lay box and then have that thermometer control this guy. It's just like a fail-safe thing, and that probably would have saved these eggs because you would have had the external thermometer turning off and on the heating apparatus of this one. But nothing I can do now. Take this lesson on the chin and move on. Hopefully next year I will have better luck with this and I won't make the same dumbass mistake. Literally, if I checked on these eggs like once earlier on back in July, I would not have lost these eggs. I would have caught it right away. Blows. But I just got too busy. So how did this even happen? Like, how could I have let something like this slip by me? Well, this past month, I've been very busy. I've had a lot going on. I've been focused on getting a new job. I've been focused on building back my social life because it's been on a bit of a slowdown in the spring, but it's summertime, so I'm doing stuff. I'm 24, I'm trying to live. So my reptiles weren't the center of my attention per se, you know what I mean? Granted, I still come in here to do maintenance and stuff, but that actually brings me to my second problem that I've been facing is I've been struggling with my mental health. Yeah, that's kind of a big one, especially in the second video, but yeah, I've been struggling with my mental health, and it's made me feel resistance to something that historically has been therapeutic to me. Taking care of my animals has always been a release. It's always been therapeutic. It's the only work that has never really felt like work for me. And over the last month or two, I've actually felt some resistance coming in here. I still do it. I care about my animals, you know, I'm not trying to freaking neglect them or anything, but it is what it is. I'm starting to feel that way. And it's also made me consider whether or not I should downsize on my collection, because in terms of the online reptile community, there are plenty of people that have way more animals than me, but based off of your average person, I have a lot. And I'm at the point where the amount of animals that I have, it's borderline, I could use some help caring for them, and that's not where I want to be. Everything that I own, I want to be able to comfortably handle by myself, and I've been thinking for a long time, what species I want to dial in on when it comes to breeding and just caring for. There are some animals that I have that I don't even care to breed. I have a blue-tongued skink. I'm not planning on breeding him, at least in the near future. I'm just enjoying him for what he is. Same with my boa constrictor. But there are some, like my beardy here, that I do plan on breeding. But the point is, I'd rather have less animals kept at a higher quality of care than more animals where I have to cut some corners without compromising the animal, of course, but still. And by a higher quality of care, I mean bioactive enclosures, bigger enclosures, more naturalistic setups, stuff along those lines. Because it's more fulfilling for me to set up enclosures like that and to provide that enrichment for my animals. That doesn't necessarily relate to the eggs, because they're just eggs, but this happening to my clutch has brought this to the forefront of my head. So I'm just kind of rambling on to you guys, you know? Because of everything that's been going on, I didn't even check on these eggs once, I'll be honest. But the clutch that came before them, I popped in twice over the month and a half that they were incubating, and I had a reminder sent in my phone for I think it was the 45-day mark to just be ready. And I had the same in place for these guys, but I figured, they're set up fine, I don't need to check on them, blah blah blah. If I had had that foresight to just check on them at least once, maybe a week into their setup, I would have seen that the temperature in that box didn't line up, I would have seen that the probe was misplaced, I would have saved myself in the long run. Because with this hobby, if you make a mistake like this, it costs you a year. It's a year of effort and stress on the snake for nothing. But I'm not gonna let this stop me. I'm gonna keep going. I still have plans for some of my animals. Although I am downsizing in the near future, I have some pretty awesome plans for some of my animals, and it's gonna take a while for those to come into fruition, but stay tuned for that. I'm gonna do a deep dive on all the animals that I have very soon on my channel. So like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing that in the near future. If you want to breed reptiles, this is something that you're gonna have to be aware of, right? Even if you do everything right, things can still go wrong, and you gotta deal with it. This was completely my fault, but it's possible that other stuff that's out of my control could have happened that could have resulted in a loss of life. Eggs can hatch stillborn, right? In one of my clutches last year, I think it was 2 eggs that didn't hatch. They never broke through the egg. They never hatched properly, and I think they suffocated or something. It was really sad, but that was kind of out of my control. The other major thing that I learned was that it is extremely important to use an external thermometer. Not even just with incubating, but just reptiles in general. You don't want them to overheat, because reptiles have a higher tolerance to colder temperatures generally than overheating. If they get too cold, they can almost shut down temporarily. Some species roommate, it's the reptile equivalent of hibernation. But if they get too hot, it's game over. It's a very small window to catch that high temperature. So if I had an external thermometer hooked up like I described earlier, I would have totally caught this, and the crisis would have been averted. But you win some, you lose some. I'm sorry my second ever video is kind of a downer, guys. I'm gonna be making more uplifting content sometime soon. By the time you're seeing this, I'll probably have at least a few more videos in the works. But even so, I hope you got something out of it, especially if you're an aspiring reptile breeder or if you're just starting out like I am. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.